As you all know, the first podcast episode of every month this season is about some controversy. And up until this point, I've been doing controversy that has to do with what's happening in mainstream media. However, today, I'm doing things a little bit differently. Today, we're getting into TikTok controversy. And so far, I've seen two big topics that have had the TikTok FY pizzle and a tizzle. That was terrible. On one hand, we have a man that says, so because I'm homeless, have heart failure and blood clots, I don't deserve love. And on the other hand, we have women coming forward post-holiday season complaining about their husbands and being told to either leave that man or shut the hell up. Both of these topics have sparked massive TikTok controversy and conversation, and I'm here to give my thoughts and opinions on the subject matter at hand. So, does this homeless man in fact deserve love? And should these women either leave that man or shut the hell up? Okay, no, but can we talk about this one, y'all?
Oh, can we talk? Can we talk about it? Can we talk? Can we talk about it? Can we talk? Can we talk about it? Can we talk? Can we talk about it?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cindy Noir, and welcome back to another episode of my show, The Cindy Noir Show. I'm super excited for this episode because for those who don't know, on my social media platforms, I announced that this year I'm doing things differently. Up until this point, any TikTok controversy that I saw, I would pop my phone up in my car, make a video about it, and keep it pushing. But this year, I've decided that I want for the majority of my social media and content creation focus to be on my podcast. So since 2021, I have always put my social media platforms at the top priority. I've always put making TikToks and Reels as top priority. So anytime there was any TikTok controversy or anything, my first priority was to make a TikTok video about it. And then if I felt the call or need to, I would talk about it more on my podcast. However, this year, I've told myself that at this point, I'm going to reprioritize and I'm going to deprioritize my TikTok and Reel videos that I make and then move my podcast to top priority spot. I think part of the reason why my podcast has been inconsistent in the past is because it has not been properly prioritized. And so I'm hoping that by making my podcast the most important content that I make, we'll see better, more long-term results. And so how that looks is if there's any TikTok controversy going on, I'm no longer rushing to do my own TikTok or Reel about it. And instead, what I'm going to do moving forward is take the controversy and make a podcast episode about it. And honestly, I think that's the best case scenario because with a TikTok video, I felt pressured to condense all of my thoughts into a minute or 2 minute video, where now I can yap my ass off and go as much as into depth about the topic as I want to. So I think this works out for everybody in the end. As a reminder, this podcast episode is now being sponsored by Waving the Red Flag Podcast and their card game, It's a Red Flag. The card game for grown folks to discuss and debate how shitty the dating pool actually is and whether or not you're a toilet or tissue paper. This is a great game to play for any fun gathering with you and your friends, and it's bound to spark some great conversations. So if you want your own It's a Red Flag card game, be sure to click the link in my bio. And as far as what I'm creating today, I am working on a custom order of 2 popcorn beanies. This customer wants the popcorn beanies to be satin lined. So very, very excited to get this project done. And now that we have all that out the way, let's go ahead and hop into today's topic, shall we? During the holiday season, a man by the name of Sayon took it upon himself to make a video stating that even homeless men with health issues deserve love too. Here's a clip.
So just because I'm homeless, I can't wake up to I can't wake up to no plate of food. I can't get no back rubs. I can't get no foot rubs. I can't get catered to. I can't get no kisses. I can't get no affection. I can't give out no back shots. Just because I'm homeless. Just because I'm homeless, man. I don't deserve love.
Social media is saying that while everyone does in fact deserve love, his priorities appear to be out of whack. And instead of looking for a woman to provide these pleasantries, he should be looking for a job. So here's my thing. First and foremost, homelessness in a society where there are multiple billionaires and apparently even a rising trillionaire is egregious. shouldn't exist. In a society where people are throwing out food at the end of the night, shouldn't nobody go to bed hungry and or without a home to live in. I detest homelessness, and I really detest the fact that capitalism survives through people being at a disadvantage. I think that is unfair and should not be, period. I also am of the belief that everyone deserves love and that your circumstances shouldn't inherently mean you don't deserve love. And I also believe that everyone deserves joy. Listen, when I give a homeless person some money, I don't care what you do with said money. Go buy you a bottle of some hen dog. Go buy you a crack rock. I don't care what you do with it, because at the end of the day, people who are stable in life turn to both alcohol and drugs to get by. And that's even with somewhere to sleep at night. Who am I to judge someone without that stability for doing the same shit? So I am absolutely of the belief that even those who are homeless deserve love and joy too. With that being said though, what really threw me off about Mr. Homeless, aka Sayon, is the fact that the first thing he listed in this list wasn't even words but motion, okay? That man said, so you mean to tell me that because I'm homeless, I don't deserve no... Sir, I'm sorry. The first thing on your mind is headery? You don't... Love doesn't even have to be in the room to get some head, beloved. And what bothers me about that is the first thing on your mind is head. Respectfully, you are worried about the wrong H. Instead of worrying about some head, sir, you need to be worried about finding a house. Amen? Okay, a humble abode. Come on, somebody. You have heart failure and blood clots. Worried about some head, you're worried about the wrong H. You need to be worried about your health, okay? You need to be worried about finding some health insurance. What are we talking about? That immediately threw me for a complete loop. The first thing on your mind is headery? And you're homeless? Priorities are not aligned. They are not in order. That wild. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he proceeds to list off nothing but services done on to him. You mean to tell me I can't wake up to no plate of food? No back rubs, no foot rubs. I can't get catered to. I can't get no kisses. I can't get no affection. And then finally offer something he could give by saying, I can't give no back shots. Get this jigaboo. Never in the video did he say, listen, I got a plan. Give me 3 months of living in your house. I got this job set up. I got this plan. In 6 months, I got this plan to have this much money saved. None of that. You just want service. You want to be served while you suffer with blood clots, heart failure, and houselessness. And unemployment, because he didn't say nothing about no job. All right, Tommy. Be fucking for real. And honestly, I can't even call you Tommy because Tommy, while he ain't had no job, he had some money on. I don't know where he got it from. But sir, please. So after watching that video, all the grace that I have for those who are less fortunate went out the window for a couple of reasons. One being, you don't want love. You want service. Love came about 30 seconds into your tangent. Nowhere in the video did you say, I want someone who is going to see me for who I am while I am working to get back on my feet. I want someone who is willing to stand by me through the ups and downs, and I support them on their journey too. That wasn't nowhere in there. What you want is a sugar mama, a nurse, a sex worker, and a house cleaner, a maid, if you will. And you can't afford to buy those things separately, so you want a woman who's going to do it all together in one, while you just take and only give back shots. The math ain't mathing. The math ain't even in the room with us. This is ridiculous. My other issue with this video is I know for a figurative fact that you have had at least one Build-A-Bobisha. Okay? You've had at least one woman who took your ass in. And the way that I know that is, Sir Seon, you aren't that ugly. And if there is anything I know about a woman, I know 2 to 3 things. We love us, y'all, y'all love y'all a good homosexual. Y'all love y'all a good project and a man. And if that man is any semblance of attractive, y'all will look and overlook all kind of foolishness just to have that man in your bed. You cannot tell me that Sir Seon did not have at least one woman that took him in and said, oh, you poor thing. You just need someone like me who can take care of you, who can give you the space to grow and get on your feet. You can't tell me that ain't happened at least once. Cut the malarkey. You had at least one woman who did take your ass in, who did all those things for you. But the issue is, I think while he was able to get that woman, he wasn't able to keep her. Or women, because I'm pretty sure it was more than one. He wasn't able to keep them 9 times out of 10 because he wasn't holding up his end of the bargain. I would hasten to bet, and this is all assumption, but I would hasten to bet that homeboy said, you know, I'm going to apply to jobs. I'm going to work hard to get these things. I'm going to get a job, get some money, and be able to help pay for the bills and help the household. And he ain't do a lick of this shit or none of that. I guarantee that. I guarantee what happened is he gave them a promise he couldn't uphold or didn't want to keep. And they got tired of waiting around for him to get his shit together and kick them out. Now, all the stay low and bill girls that he had in his back pocket ain't there no more. So now here he is on TikTok. And I ain't even gotta go look in the comments of the video. I would put hardcore money on the fact that I know there are women in them comments saying, I'll take you in. Oh my goodness, I will take you in, Seon. I got you, boo. I promise you there are. I know there are. Because there are far too many women out there with self-esteem that's on the floor who would find some kind of pride for whatever reason in being able to get him back on his feet and nurse him back to health without a ring, I digress. All right, girl. All I'm saying is what irks me about this video is the fact that I know you probably had what you're describing and you lost it. And yet here you are begging for more. Please. What also irks me about this video is he isn't looking for someone at his level. This man is homeless with health problems trying to date up. Oh. He not trying to look around to see who is within vicinity of his tent. This man is trying to find a woman that has a whole lot more than what he could ever provide in the moment. And something about that really bothers me. And you know, when I came across his videos, I saw one that said that he has been homeless since his mother passed. And that makes me wonder, is this a mama's boy lost at sea? How hands-on was his mama? Was he living with her, and now that she's dead, he ain't got nowhere to go? Was she the one cooking and cleaning and taking care of him, and now that she's dead, he ain't got nobody else to do it, now he wants a mama in girlfriend form? I have questions, because it's giving a mama's boy lost at sea. You don't want a partner, you want a mother who will also give you sexual pleasantry. And sir, priorities, sir. Something about these videos give a painful level of emasculation to me. Where is your own agency? Where is your own desire to get your shit out the mud? Where is your own self-respect to say, I don't like where I am right now. I don't feel comfortable with the idea of a woman taking care of me. I want to be able to get my shit together so that I can be able to provide for her too. Where's that? Because it's not evident in these videos. You are hands out, no growth, sister. Hands up, cash out. Unapologetically as a grown-ass man. And I'm not saying that in a patriarchal sense. I'm saying it in the sense of as a grown-ass adult. Why are you okay with being somewhat offended at the fact that people are saying that because you are homeless and have health issues, you got bigger fish to fry. There have been times in my life where I've been a little bit too down and out to where the last thing on my mind was sexual favors. I might have wanted it. It would have been a nice little reprieve. But to go as far as to actively seek it out or make a video demanding it, the balls that you both do and don't have are astounding to see here. I'm so damn worked up about this video. I done forgot to crochet. This is redamn. Like I feel like to be a homeless person, you absolutely deserve love. But the best case scenario is for you to find somebody else who's also homeless and love on each other while y'all figure it out together. I think it's a little audacious to be a homeless man looking for love in all the wrong places, as in somewhere that you can't provide that same kind of love back. It's very audacious and selfish to look for a woman to love and provide for you in a way that you cannot reciprocate. That's crazy. And here's the thing. I do hope he finds love. I just hope he finds love that's appropriate for where he is right now. The love that I hope he finds is the water that's meeting him at his own level. I think it'd be very unfair for him to end up with a woman that has a whole lot more to offer him than he could offer her in the moment. And I'm just not a fan of watching men actively demand and call it asking, but demand a woman who is going to take care of him without offering anything in return. And the only thing that I dislike more than that is the knowing that there are women out here, Lord have mercy, who see that imbalance of power as safe and as a flex. Some of y'all are too far gone for me. I can't get you. You're too far out at sea. I can't reach you. It's just sad because I know this video going viral. There are women in his DMs. Lord have mercy. There are women in his DMs right now. Where are you? I want to come get you right now. I got a house. It's warm. I got food. I know how to fry chicken. I know how to make some cornbread from scratch. I got you. I got a fresh bottle of coconut oil for you to rub on right now. Oh, I want better for the girlies. I do. I do. This is ridiculous. I think that's what irks me the most out of the whole situation is the knowing that he ain't going to be hurting for long. He's not. For every woman that is making a video calling him crazy as hell, there are about 5 women in his DMs wanting to addy. What hospital you at? I'll come get you right now. Matter of fact, I work at the hospital. I'm a nurse. Oh, Heavenly Father. Ridiculous. Anyway, cut, check, print the gate, moving on. Since the ending of this holiday season, we have seen an influx of married women taking to social media to vent about their husbands who have either not helped make the season merry and bright or have given them various shady gifts, for example, a butter dish when she got him an Xbox. In response to these videos, women are telling these married women to either leave their husbands or shut the hell up, saying that they are fatigued at the same pattern of these married women complaining about their husbands, but defending them and staying in the end. Now, this is the topic that I really wanted to dive into because as someone who is also fatigued and annoyed at these videos, I don't agree with the leave or shut up response, and I want to talk about why. So let's talk about it. But firstly, I want to talk about the 3 top reasons why I think that these married women make these kind of videos. The first reason and the more shallow reason being, I think these women use your rage as the viewer as leverage to be able to get their husband to do the thing that they want them to do. So for instance, the butter dish / Xbox story. For those who are unaware, on TikTok, a woman posted a video saying that she was on day 5 of silence towards her husband because she got him an Xbox and he got her a butter dish, aka a dish to put your butter in and go in the fridge. And of course, her comment section is flooded with women telling her to leave that man, that he hates her, that he isn't considerate, isn't thoughtful, where are the other gifts, etc., etc. Well, she then responds and says the cliche, y'all don't know him, you can't judge our marriage off of a 30-second clip, and then even announces that she's pregnant. Ultimately, she ends up deleting her page. So that story alone, there have been others, but that story alone has sparked a lot of women saying, Either leave the man or shut the hell up. And here's the thing. There is a strong chance that that woman had no plan on leaving that man, but what she instead wanted was your rage in the comments to be able to show her husband to say, see, I don't even want to leave you. I just wanted you to give me X, Y, and Z. And the goal is to be able to leverage your rage in the comments and your stitches in your videos for her to get what she wants and continue to stay. I think a lot of women who make these kind of videos, they don't want to leave. They just want that husband to act right in a certain way, and they want to use your rage to try to pressure him into doing it. I see it as a form of manipulation and an attempt to say, see, I don't even want to leave you. Look at all them saying that I should leave you. I don't even want to do that. I just wanted this necklace. I just wanted a vacation. I just wanted A, B, C, and D. And the hopes that if he sees that you're being advised to leave him, it will scare him into doing right by her in that one situation. That is the first reason why I think women make these kind of videos. The second reason why I think these women stay or even go as far as to defend the man is because of their own ego. I think these women are defending themselves and their choice in that man more than they're defending him as a person. When these women make these videos, I think some of them are looking for you all to pick on the man, to harp on and to join in on her complaining about how terrible he was for that one thing. But when y'all get in her comments and instead of talking about him, you talk about her, or you call her a dummy, or you say that she should leave him because he isn't a good choice in partner, or you begin to shift your focus on telling her to leave that man, you are no longer joining in on her quote unquote fun of shaming him, and you are instead shaming her choice, shaming her decision making or lack thereof. You are now shaming and judging her vetting process or lack thereof. And that is when the ego kicks in, and that is when they become defensive and say, well, now wait a minute now. Y'all can't tell me what to do with my husband, or you don't know him, or he's a good guy, he's just flawed like everyone else is, because they feel the need to defend their choice in him. And this is the thing about that. There is so much pressure on women to choose the right guy. We put so much pressure on each other because God forbid you choose the wrong one, that it's your fault. Because you should have chosen better. You should have vetted better. So there is this immense amount of pressure that if you are with a man and if you marry a man, he better be the right choice. Because the minute that he is not, the minute he displays he is not the good choice at all, here comes women to remind her, you chose that. That was your choice, girl, and it wasn't a good one. And I think that there is a level of shame and embarrassment in that realization that a lot of women run from. And that is where the denial and the defense comes from. It comes more so from them defending their and protecting their own ego and not wanting to sit with the reality that they might have chosen wrong. Now, as far as why do women complain about their partners on social media, women have been complaining about their husbands for decades. That is not any different. It is not any different from water cooler talk at your job. You know, me and my 3 kids and one's my husband, that has always been a normalcy amongst women, that to be married is to be unhappy, and to be unhappy is to complain and to bond with other married women over how shitty our husbands are. That's a normalcy. Very abnormal if you ask me, but it's a normalcy. And so it has just translated from it being water cooler talk at your job to a TikTok video. The issue with that, though, is the visibility of social media. Before, it was just girlfriend talk over dinner. Now it is a viral video, and you have thousands of people in your comments shit talking your partner, which clout, money, your reasonings may be what they are, but I do find it odd that we are seeing so many women enjoy or take part in shaming their male partners on such a public platform. We aren't your girlfriends. We aren't your coworkers. We are strangers on the internet who are unloading the clip in your comments ad nauseum. I don't get the allure outside of the virality of it all and the money from it all. if you qualify. I don't get it, but hey, that's them and not me. Now, the third reason why I believe that women make these videos and defend their partners and don't leave is because twofold. They think that to leave their partner is to accept defeat at the challenge. And the challenge is to get that man to change for her. And I think that some of these women are making these videos in hopes that they come across some advice to help figure out what she can do to make the situation better. To be a woman in a patriarchy is to be conditioned to believe that your job, on top of serving a man, is to also be what makes him change and act better. That is your job. That is your role as his wife. You have got to be able to turn that hoe into a husband. That is your responsibility. We are conditioned to believe that every man has a good man inside him. It just takes you, your effort, and your coochie to bring it out of him. And if you can't do that, then you just weren't woman enough for him. You didn't have what it takes to bring that out of him. There's so much unfair responsibility put on women to perform in a certain way that makes a man act right for her. And there are a lot of women with projects of husbands who are under the belief and assumption that it is her job to make him act right and be better. And for me to leave means that I didn't do my job, that I didn't have what it takes to make him act right for me, and it opens up the chance for someone else to come in and be able to do what I couldn't. And a lot of women do not want to accept that quote unquote defeat. So they, instead of leaving that man, continue to complain, continue to look for any kind of advice, any kind of secret tricks and tips they can use to get the situation to be different, and it never changes. And I really empathize with women in that situation because that is societal conditioning. That is nothing more than the patriarchy at work. You are so much more focused on trying to be good enough for that man that you don't have enough time to stop and think and ask yourself, is he good enough for you? That is patriarchal conditioning 101. It is also ego. The last two reasons that I gave are very, very, very ego-based. Amongst women, it is a flex to be able to say, I'm the reason why he changed. Y'all see this man standing before you today? Yeah, that's because of me. I had what it takes. I cooked right, I cleaned right, and I fucked right. And now he's a good man. Yeah, I did that. That's a flex for a lot of women. And a lot of women are currently married and working overtime to get that trophy, to get that accomplishment of being able to groom a man into what she wants him to be. And it is a psychological warfare. It is a game that many women play and very few win. And I would argue that even women who win don't really win because of all they have to do and sacrifice to get that trophy of a man. And so as far as the reason why these women defend their men and stick beside them is because they do not want to accept the defeat of not being good enough to get him to change and be better. And they also do not want for all of their hard work to go to waste. Sunk cost fallacy. They've put in way too much work, sacrificed way too much, suffered through way too much, and they do not want for someone else to come in and reap the benefits of their hard work. A lot of this is ego-based. Women, we have big egos. It just shows up differently. There is, for whatever reason, there's also a bragging right, or there's ego in sacrifice and suffering amongst women because we are conditioned that to be a woman is to suffer. To be a good woman is to suffer. To be a good wife is to suffer and to sacrifice and to give up things about you. And for whatever reason, to continue on with that thought process, a lot of women see it as a bragging right. That I go through so much for this man, that I put up with so much for my kids and my husband. They're in a twisted way, women see that as a flex. So going online and complaining about your husband for some women is a brag. It is, at least I have these problems. At least I have a man that's annoying the hell out of me right now. I think a lot of people and a lot of women have a very misconstrued understanding of what marriage is supposed to be. And a lot of women think that to be married is to have someone to complain about because they saw their mothers do it, their grandmothers do it, and so on and so forth. And it has become a standard that to be married is to have someone to complain about at family gatherings, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas. That's part of the experience. And so I think that there are women out there who are, in a weird way, excited to complain about their husband. They don't want to leave, but they're finally doing the thing that they've watched women in their lives do all their lives. They've grown up watching their mothers and their aunts and women in their lives share these stories amongst each other, and they laugh about it and they keep it pushing. I think when women aspire to be married too much, they also aspire to all the flexes, quote unquote, and the brags that come with marriage. But if all you've seen is women complaining about their partners, you think that is also a brag and also a flex because, yeah, he did that one bad thing, but she's still married. She has the ring, she has the husband, so it can't be that bad, you know? So I think that when women take to social media to complain about their husbands, not all of them are doing it from a standpoint of, I'm wanting to leave. A lot of them are just falling into status quo and doing what they saw women in their families also do. So, given these reasons, and despite me also finding it annoying as hell when they do this, I don't agree with the notion of either leave that man or shut up. And here's why. As women, we are pretty new to this awakening that we're experiencing. I would say that the awakening has been happening within the last 50 years or so. However, within the last, I would say 20 years, we have seen a huge ramp up in this awakening to result in a shift in society. Beforehand, I think it was more theoretical, but within the last 20 years, there has been this drastic acceleration in it going from theory to reality. And I think that social media plays a huge role in why that's the case. Now, because we are pretty new to this awakening, especially the social media awakening, we also have to factor in the fact that women are awakening at different phases of life, okay? If you are experiencing this social media awakening as a single childless woman, you are privileged. And I don't think you understand just how much privilege you have right now. To be single and childless and have no proximity to a man while going through this social media awakening and seeing these stories and hearing these stories, that is privilege. You are blessed. You are lucky to be experiencing this awakening before you are tied to a man in these ways. That is a blessing because now you are now set up to be able to maneuver through life far different than our mothers, our grandmothers, and so on and so forth. You are given a gift, okay? Now, there are women out here who are experiencing this awakening married to a man with children. It gets sticky real fast. So for a lot of the women who are experiencing the social media awakening while married with children, they are kind of stuck at a crossroads because up until this point, they have been following the status quo. They have more likely than not married a quintessential man to complain about who is subpar. So they're watching these videos. They're being awakened and enlightened by hearing women's stories whilst being married and permanently attached to through parenthood to someone they should be awakened and enlightened from. That situation is very sticky, okay? And not everyone has it so easy to just up and divorce. Divorce can be very complicated, a very lengthy and timely process, and it can be very messy, especially when kids are involved. And so I do not believe in this leave or shut up because it is too black and white for a very gray situation. That's easy to tell a girl that has a boyfriend, no legal contract has been signed with. Yeah, okay, yeah, then leave or shut up. But we're talking about a husband. Y'all been married 10, 20 years. Y'all have built your lives together. Telling her to leave or shut up is a very simple answer to a very complicated problem. Because a lot of the women who are married to these men have been immersed in the mindset, have been immersed in the lifestyle that you are trying to awaken them from. That is not an overnight process, and that awakening is not going to happen nearly as fast as it would for a single childless woman. It's a whole lot easier for those of us who are single and childless to be awakened and enlightened when we have no tie to somebody that's in our house. We have no financial responsibility to, or we're not combined with, and we have no kids with. It's very easy to speak from a place of privilege when you're the one that's privileged. And I don't think that enough of us are really sitting with the advantage we have in being single and childless at this time during said awakening. The other reason why I don't agree with leave him or shut up is because talking about it is needed. Gossiping as women has saved lives. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm dead the fuck serious. Women talking about their experiences with men has helped each other more than it has annoyed each other. Okay? I do not think that the answer here is for these married women to stop talking. Because while she may not be ready to leave, there is 9 times out of 10 a woman who is watching that video and feeling a little bit too seen who is ready to leave. And she needed to hear that story to see herself in something. Yeah, she needed to be able to hear that story and see her life and herself to somebody else to see that she needs to leave. Talking is needed. These married women it is these stories of these married women that have sparked the awakening. These, as annoying as it may be to hear at times, it is these very stories that have birthed the enlightenment, that have birthed the awakening. They are doing us a solid, okay? They are helping women to realize that all that has glitter is not gold at all. So just because you are annoyed at what they're saying does not mean they should stop talking. What it does mean, though, is you may need to stop listening. And to me, that is the answer we focus on. Who has the capacity to be able to hear these stories and maintain emotional distance to offer the support they may need? If you don't have the capacity, then don't engage. And I think that is what is bothering me the most. Y'all will be in these married women's comments seething, foaming at the mouth, pissed off that these married women ain't listening to you. And the whole time you are a stranger to them and they're a stranger to you. You don't know them. You don't know them. And that, I think, is what bothers me the most. It is one thing to be annoyed at your girlfriend who won't leave that man. We are talking about strangers on the internet. Why is she annoying you? Why are you so irate? Why are you so worked up at somebody you don't know behaving in their life in a way that you would suggest? It's giving parasocial and not in a good way. Y'all will be in these women's comments just as mean and degrading as y'all want to be because they aren't taking heed to your advice, and the whole time you're a stranger. Even if you're right, and that's my thing, just because your advice may be correct does not mean this stranger has to follow it. That's their life. People aren't scrolling enough for me. Scroll. I have stopped watching these videos because I can't take it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear yet another egregious story of a man disrespecting his wife. I don't want to hear it. So guess what I do? I scroll. What I don't do is post up in their comments harassing them to leave that man. I ain't doing that. I'm on to the next 5 videos. Y'all need to scroll more. Because at this point, we have seen enough examples to know that more times than not, she ain't leaving that man. She just wants to vent, and she can vent into the void where I will not be. But y'all need to get a hold of yourselves and get to just scrolling away. Why are we yelling into our phones at these women to leave their men or shut the hell up when you could just scroll? You know, that's always an option. Disengage. Let them talk to whoever's listening. Let their videos serve the purpose they're meant to serve for somebody else. and you keep your peace intact and scroll on. I don't understand why we are getting so worked up when you have the freedom of choice to not engage. Because here's my thing. I think a lot of you all, the reason why you stay in these comments and the reasons why you watch the videos and allow yourself to get so worked up is because you feel superior to these married women. You think you're better than them. You think that you have more sense than they do, that you have more smarts than they do, that you have more wherewithal than they do. And so you post up in their comments calling them dumbass bitches, saying that they are pathetic and need to leave that man and they have low self-esteem because it makes you feel better about yourself. And that is weird energy. Now, I understand that there are a lot of married women out here who will try to leverage their marriage to make women who are single feel bad about being single. I know that there are married women out here who are the at least I have a man type. I get it. But here's my thing about these kind of women. Women who go out of their way to try to rub their marriage in single women's faces aren't happily married. They're miserable people. They're miserable in their marriage, miserable people. They're not happy people. Women who are happily married don't feel the need to go out of their way to make somebody feel bad about being single. They're not doing that. So a woman who is trying her hardest and who are often using these subpar marriages as a flex on those who aren't married yet or are married at all, I have no desire to try to shit on her back because clearly your life is shitty enough. So I feel like some of y'all are trying to reparations these women back in a sense by posting up in their comments and talking about how dumb they are for staying. And that behavior makes me wonder, how happy are you in your singleness? Because if the married chick feels the need to shit on those who are single and use her marriage to do so, and she's miserable, then what does it say about you using your singleness to try to shit on those who are married? Are you happy, sir? Because as somebody who's happily single, I don't feel the need to go out of my way and post up in their comments and call them all kind of dummy bitches. I don't need to do that. They're suffering enough, clearly. I think that there are women out here in this movement of enlightenment who have gotten a chip on their shoulder and they now feel superior to those who are just so desperate for a man. I'm not like you hoes. I don't need a man and I know better than you do because I'm not married to one and you are. And it just, y'all are losing me and fast, because at the end of the day, what these women are displaying is societal conditioning. We were conditioned to be a slave to a man. That was how we're conditioned. We're conditioned to be dependent on their approval and their acceptance and their admiration and validation. That's how we're conditioned as women. So when I then see women out here doing the conditioning in practice, I don't feel the need to shit on her while she's already clearly down. What's the point in doing that? What do I gain out of that? It's weird behavior, it's weird energy, and I wish y'all would stop. Because just like sitting in her comments telling her to leave that man isn't gonna make her leave any faster, telling her to either leave or shut up isn't making her leave any faster either. In fact, it is doing the opposite and making her stay longer. And my issue with this phrase of leave or shut up is y'all are beginning to sound a lot like men. That's concerning. Choose better. Well, if you stop dating and marrying Pookies and Ray Rays and got with a good guy, you would have that kind of experience. It's starting to sound a little similar. A little too similar. And I don't fuck with it. I don't like it. I don't like this notion that even if she didn't choose in her best interest, her options are to either leave or shut the hell up. I just, when you have the option to scroll, or to block the word, mute the words, block the pages, you have control in what you're seeing. And so for y'all to in turn blow up at the woman, y'all lose me. Y'all lose me. I don't see it. I don't see it. You have so much control over what you're seeing right now. And instead you want to shit on her and tell her if she ain't leaving that man and then keep us out of it. You can keep you out of it and keep scrolling. I don't know. I'm just saying. Here's the other thing, because while no, not every woman who makes these videos is in a DV situation, Some are. And we all know that it takes an average of 7 attempts for a woman to leave a deep situation successfully. Bear with me. Follow me here. If it takes a woman in the worst case scenario 7 times on average to leave successfully, then it's going to take a woman in a subpar situation more than that one incident for her to leave. The math is right there. For it to take a woman in the worst case scenario 7 times, 7 attempts for her to leave, then women who are a step above that in the subpar situation, it's going to take a few times at minimum. It's going to take her a few experiences for her to get her own bravery to leave too. If it took women in DV marriages only twice to leave, 2 attempts to leave on average, then I could better understand the expectation of leave or shut up. But it's taking the worst case scenario 7 times, which means it's going to take the subpar scenario a few times before she actually leaves. I think we need to kind of lighten up and give them the space to get fed up to leave. That's her journey. That's her business. Expecting perfection when we just got here for real as far as the enlightenment and awakening goes is a crazy expectation. And it's real easy for you to say what you would or wouldn't do when you are actively single and childless. Okay? All right. The last point I want to make is this. A lot of you women who are in these comments telling her to leave that man or shut up, or making videos saying the same thing, a lot of y'all have this unrealistic expectation for 100% of women to be on the same page, doing the same thing for there to be actual change. And that is simply, not only will that never happen, but it is not true. Because even with these women staying with these men, the birth rate is scarily low. Got the government panicking, overturning laws and shit, trying to get us to have these goddamn kids. Despite these women saying with these shitty ass husbands, we're still witnessing a male loneliness epidemic. Every other news article is about men being so lonely. Even despite these women staying married to these shitty ass men, women in droves are becoming abstinent, full-blown celibate, and sending our society into panic and a tizzy. The reality is we do not need 100% participation of all women for things to actually change. We don't need it. In order to make a statement, we do not need all women to be on the same accord, because the reality is the statement's already being made. Men are worried, shaking in their boots, turning to red pill. We got these men turning to red pill content, turning to each other in the worst ways out of fear, out of a loss of control. We have the government overturning laws, creating laws to make us have kids. The statement is being made. We do not need for every single woman to leave that man to make the statement. It's already being made, and women are leaving their husbands. It is happening. The stats show it. They are leaving. Somewhere it's called the Great Divorce, something like that. It's happening. So I think that we should lighten the fuck up, because the reality is not every woman is going to do it. Not every woman is going to do what you want for her to do, which is to leave that man. She's not going to. And the reality is she don't have to, for things to still change. Would it be cool for all of us to be on the same accord? Sure. But it's not mandatory. So you being in these comments foaming at the mouth as if change is contingent on this one marriage, let's lighten up. We are already at a point where our birth rate will not replace generations. We doing a pretty damn good job. We making strides. We're getting the point across, if you ask me. So I think that, y'all being so upset at the girls who do stay, in the grand scheme of things, we are frying bigger fish. The bigger fish are in fact fried, dyed, and laid to the side. So I'm not understanding the need to harp and focus on these few stories when at large, women are waking up. We are enlightened. We are moving differently. We're getting married later or not at all. More of us are having pets than children. I think that a lot of y'all need to take a beat, take a pause, breathe, relax, relate, release, and realize that the movement is not contingent on every single woman leaving a man. The movement can still move even with the girlies who haven't awakened enough yet. You think every Negro was on the same page with MLK during the Civil Rights Movement? They were not. And they didn't need all of us to be on the same page. They had enough of us on the same page to get things to shake. And it shook. You don't need 100% participation for a movement to move. And I think that that is the biggest takeaway here. So instead of harping on these girls and getting mad at these married women for staying with these men, shift your focus elsewhere. Make content about abortion laws. Make content about marriage laws changing. Make content about the birth rates decreasing. Focus on what is actually happening, because I feel like it's kind of a waste of time to be in these comments and making videos trying to pressure women you don't know to leave a man you also don't know. I think it is time that you shift your focus and worry about other things. Yeah. All right. With that being said, that's what I have for this episode. Now it is your turn to tell me what your thoughts are. How do you feel about Mr. Sayon, aka Mr. Homeless Man? Do you think what he's asking for isn't a tall ask and he should go for it and get it, or not? And if so, why do you feel that way? And as far as leave that man or shut the hell up, what are your thoughts? Do you support the cause? Are you anti the cause? Why or why not? I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on the matter, but like I said, that's all I have for this week. And this is all I was able to make. Clearly, I had a lot more to say than the crochet. So, that's all I have for y'all today. And with that being said, y'all be blessed and bless up. Bye.